Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the fact that nobody really wants to do a bunch of paperwork when they go on vacation. And the reason I thought of making this video, I was reading a recent article from the Pattaya Mail, pattayamail.com. Article is titled, Compulsory Insurance Could Survive Abolition of Thailand Pass. We've discussed that at length. There is some talk of getting rid of Thailand Pass, but then keeping some of these other provisions. I'm going to go ahead and quote, and then I'll kind of get into my analysis here. Quoting directly, if the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration this week were to accept the proposal to have ongoing insurance, extra delays would occur when passengers checked in for their flights because staff would need to ascertain their paperwork was in order or risk being fined by Bangkok authorities. This happened under the now defunct test and go procedures when airlines had to ensure that Thai-bound customers had their downloaded QR code. Some airlines initially refused to board people who did not have an onward ticket for flights out of Thailand. Yeah, look, and what they're talking about here is even if you get rid of Thailand Pass, we're still going to have like an insurance requirement and these testing requirements and documentation requirements. Nobody wants to go on vacation with enough paperwork to basically file their tax return. It's just not what people want to do. I don't want to go on vacation like that. Nobody does. And I really don't know where the disconnect is here at this point. I do understand, I'm not going to get too into, going after bureaucrats or whatever, but it does seem like that there is a disconnect. There's a group of people at a policy level making decisions or implementing them and not really thinking about the fact who they're dealing with. This is not if we were talking about customs and bills of lading and, these are things that happen all the time with the import-export business, for example. But when you're talking about an economy such as Thailand's, which has, it's 20% of its GDP was based on tourism prior to Q1 of 2020, and we've lost all of that. We've done the videos on that where it went from like 20% of GDP down to like 1.8% of GDP, or it went from 18% of GDP down to 1.8% of GDP, and tourists are not going to want to go through all these hoops. Now, they'll probably put up with it for a little bit more of the foreseeable future, but not much. And the other thing that I've discussed in other videos is, look, people are going to be booking for high season now in the summer of 22 to come in the winter of 22. In what you would call the winter in the West, at the high season here in Thailand. We need to be scrapping this stuff sooner rather than later because people are just going to look at the situation and say, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put together a dossier of documents I have to carry all with me and be, kind of poked and prodded to, give them these documents so I can, just go and relax. I mean, people will say, I'm going to go somewhere else. And so I really hope, I don't blame anybody for the policies up to this point because I think reasonable people may disagree on how long it's gone, but you can make an argument that, hey, this was required in its time. Its time has come to an end. That's ending, I think, now. And when this becomes endemic and we see the end of the emergency decree, it's time to put this behind us because if we don't, and we continue with this excessively cumbersome sort of paperwork processing just to get into Thailand, we're going to see a lot of people just say, I don't want to come to Thailand. And I don't want to see that. I'm a Thai. I love Thailand. I made this my home. I really hope, we sort of think past just this moment now, think into the future and realize we're going to have to change this. We're going to have to change it sooner rather than later.